Tyson is reeling, and as episode 7 of Tulsa King season 2 kicks off, Dwight shows at the hospital to pay his respects. Tyson's father is still alive, thankfully, but he's also in a rough way. He needs to have surgery, and he has bad burns too. Tyson's mom slaps his son across the face for good measure, especially when he promises to get revenge. The bomb was a remote-controlled incendiary device, and it does appear that Dwight was the real target here, not Tyson or his pa, given the car is addressed in his name. Tyson wants to go about Bevilacqua, believing he's responsible, but Dwight is quick to squash that idea of instant revenge. He wants to know exactly what they're going up against, and who really did it, before they pounce. At the dealership, Tyson demands another car, while Dwight goes over who could have been responsible for the bombing. There are few candidates, of course, so to begin with he phones Chicky and Vince. However, he doesn't seem to get anywhere, and it's all the more tense because Chicky is not happy that Dwight knows Vince by name, given the sit-down fiasco. Vince senses the end is near and organizes a coup to kick Chicky out and take the reins of the family for himself. He intends to go to Dwight and make things right, striking a business deal in the process that keeps everyone happy so they aren't left with scraps. Dwight speaks to Bodie, who in turn checks out the license plate on the white Prius. He uses Paul to do his dirty work, checking the reg plate with the first two letters AZ. Oh, and there's 10 grand to sweeten the deal too. With this in the works, Dwight speaks to Armand, who struggles to hide that he's been feeding information to Thresher. He doesn't outright tell him, but he's visibly rattled by the questions. Speaking of which, Dwight shows to see Thresher and immediately asks about the bombing. He claims not to be involved, but Dwight is quick to threaten him, promising that once the plate has been run, if it comes back belonging to Thresher, all hell will break loose. Jackie shrugs it off though, believing they can just crush the car and sweep this under the rug. Thresher though is not so sure, given what a livewire Dwight is. When Dwight leaves, it becomes clear that this white Prius actually belongs to Jackie. He worked behind Thresher's back to take the big boss out. Dwight finds out from Paul that the vehicle is registered to a business called AGV Imports in Guthrie, so it's one step closer to the truth for him. While this is going on, Tyson pays his respects to his father, asking him for forgiveness, before heading out with a gun to Bevilacqua's place. Now, we knew from earlier that Bill is definitely not involved in the bombing. Dwight rings Tyson and tells him about the Prius, but it's too late. One of Bill's advisors leaves the mansion, shooting at Tyson's car. Instinctively, he fires back and ends up killing the guy. So this episode works as a sort of whodunit for the car bombing, but naturally, it all comes back to Thresher. The fact that Jackie is working behind his back to try and deal with Dwight speaks volumes about the operation, and I can't help but feel we're going to get a usurp of power here, with this loose cannon offing Thresher and jumping on the chance of taking over what our big businessman has crafted here. As for the rest of the chapter, we don't have a lot of runtime to work with, but what we get works pretty effectively in upping the tension. There's also the situation involving Vince too, where it looks like Chicky is going to be forced out the operation. With the cogs continuing to turn, it'll be interesting to see exactly where this one goes next.